For more on the funeral preparations of Iran's late supreme leader, we are joined by former Iranian diplomat and veteran politician Mehrdad Khonsari, live from London. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Sir, the funeral procession is now moving through Iran's most important religious cities before continuing to Iraq. What political and religious message is Tehran trying to send through this multi-state ceremony?
You might say regime power, the fact that they are able to mobilize their supporters and to indicate to the international community that there is popular support for the regime, something that has been contested, especially in the last several months. And the fact that this support for the regime is not just limited to the Iranian mainland, but includes the region, and in particular in Iraq, where the holy cities of Najaf and Karbala are located. And this is to try to boost the position of the regime at this particular juncture.
Sir, processions are scheduled in Qom, followed by Najaf and Karbala in Iraq, before the final burial in Mehrdad. How significant are these locations for Iran's leadership and the wider Shia world?
Well, these are the main, you might say, religious centers. Najaf, Qom, Mashhad, these are key places for the Shiite populations and the Shiites from the entire international, you might say, scene or outside Iran, when it is incumbent on them to look to these places, and those that can try to visit and pay their religious respects in these locations. So it's very important for the regime to be able to do that, and they have successfully been able to sort of create an atmosphere and to bring about the religious faithful that is aligned with them into the streets, and they have done a good job of mobilizing the forces they are capable of mobilizing.
Millions of mourners and delegations from around the world are expected to participate. Just our bureau chief, who's present in Iran, told us that the turnout has, turned out to be one of the biggest in the history of Iran. So, sir, could this influence Iran's diplomatic standing after the recent conflict?
Well, first of all, you have to bear in mind that this is not really the participation in all of these things is hugely exaggerated. There are perhaps more than 1 million of people in Tehran, perhaps more than 600,000-700,000 in Qom, and perhaps 2 million will be gathered in Mashhad. So one has to put the numbers into perspective. But it is a display. It is a sizable display of you might say force, and it's a significant showing of regime capabilities. And of course, this is transmitted to the international community. But you have to bear in mind that the dignitaries who have come, apart from 4 or 5 regional states that are represented by their heads of state, the majority of the less than or almost 100 countries that have attended are low-key political figures. They are not main you might say, political figures of their own countries. But it is nevertheless a significant showing at this particular time when there are so many things to move forward with, and it obviously tries to portray the regime as being in control.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us.